4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka. Phenomena. Tiptoe through the tulips with me.
You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to
the
We're here. Screaming and streaming truth for all you who don't want a sugar-coated, story-bloated, truth-eroded podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Talk Supernatural, where we bring it to you live. Not just everyday podcasting.
Alive to the dead.
We're not just everyday podcasting, but entertainment and truth casting.
Put your seatbelts on. It's going to be a heck of a ride. Hey, aren't we demolishing stupid tonight?
I hope so. Gosh, there's so many stupid things out there, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, hey.
No, there's so many things that have been a thorn in my side lately, so I thought, why not get it out?
Especially a thorn.
A thorn. I pulled that out. But people got to hear truth, right?
That's right, man.
Okay, so first, we're going to talk about, you know what I call this episode? I call this episode Parapalooza. Because we're just going to talk about all kinds of stuff, and you never know with us, you might get a little cry-cry.
You might.
So I want to talk about this whole live exorcism thing that happened.
Saliva. No. Exorcism.
So, you know, they had it set up for Halloween. We missed it because we were busy, but I saw clips, and it was, I think, Friday the 30th, and 66 years after one of the exorcisms from the true Exorcist story. It was a house in Belnor. In 1949, Roland Doe, a.k.a. Robbie Mannheim, was possessed by demons. And
happens.
You know what happens. Most people have seen that movie, you know, regretfully, because that is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. And we've talked about it before. The true story is actually scarier than the movie itself.
Yeah, the truth of the story is worse than the movie.
Oh, and I'm surprised they haven't tried to redo that. But so they stated that they were going to exorcise the house. Okay, so, and I'm sure people who are listening either saw it or heard about it. I don't know. But now they state that the people and the places and the stories of the United States renew a para-bandwagon. So what they were saying was that we're bringing new things to the paranormal world. And that is, what channel? Destination America. Okay, so they're trying to bring on the bandwagon a bunch of paranormal stuff. Because you notice how, wasn't it for a while, everything was paranormal, ghost hunters, ghosts. And then it sort of died out a little while. Right. And it seems to be coming back again. So
back in the saddle again.
I mean, there's everything. Haunted America.
Oh, sorry.
Haunted Bon Jovi. But there's haunted everything. So they got together a team of paranormal TV famous people. And we don't know any of them, but everybody else does. We don't watch those shows. And it took them 2 hours to exorcise this house. And I think the whole story is crazy. And then they had the whole disclaimer.
Yeah.
Remember?
What you are about to witness is a live presentation that may contain graphic and disturbing scenes. Our experts are trained professionals equipped to deal with the dangerous situations. Do not attempt this at home. Viewer discretion is advised.
So I don't know. I'm thinking they have this disclaimer up. And it must just be for hype.
Yeah, hey.
Because...
Yeah, it was...
Okay, so what you're about to witness, a live presentation. Yeah, it was a live presentation that may contain graphic and disturbing scenes. I don't think there was anything graphic or disturbing. It was supposed to be one of the most boring things ever.
The graphic could be a drawing.
Right. It could have been a drawing. Graphic. I think Golden
graphic
Girls is
art.
Scarier than what this was.
You know, so.
And then they said their experts are trained professionals. Who trained
Exercising
them?
houses?
Yeah. It's okay. And they're equipped to deal with dangerous situations. That made me laugh. How are you equipped to deal with a demon coming at you if you don't have truth?
Yeah, a demon.
Yeah. Do not attempt this at home, and everybody got off.
Bioexorcist, kind of full of degree at Harvard. Yeah, never mind.
The bioexorcist.
That's right. Only he can do that.
So if they weren't going to attempt this at home, everybody was probably out there trying to do it. Yeah. Don't try this at home. And everybody's like, they already got their Ouija board. We're
exercise our house tonight.
We're going to do it, man. They can do it. We can do it.
Your house is brand new.
It's like, just built it. Well, it didn't conjure up any demons for the camera, but it sure brought out the Twinner trolls because the consensus, like people of the show tweeted, and they were like, oh, you guys hit it out of the ballpark. It was awesome. And everybody that worked for the network was like, awesome. It was a great show. And they think they rocked it. But in the paranormal field, a lot of people were like, fail. And then, of course, you got that small group of kids who like anything like ghostly. So like, it was awesome. Because they're like 12, and they don't.
Right,
they're
right,
like,
yeah.
It was so cool.
It was great.
But since I'm one of the Twitter trolls, I like to go on Twitter and see what people are saying about stuff.
Twitter troll.
Twitter. I'm a tweet. So some of these, what I call them para-tweets, I want to read some of them because it's interesting. So they did these cheesy recreations, and any tension that was disrupted by whatever they were doing had tons of commercial breaks.
Oh.
So it wasn't even like it was scary. And I heard it was really, really boring. I only saw clips.
Well, it's hard to get a house to do what you want it to do, Paramedics and holy water standing by. Well, that's good. Probably could have used a monster.
Yeah. It was
most
so boring.
excitement, probably protesters down the street was probably the biggest excitement.
There were all kinds of protesters. There were even
Really?
Satanists down the street protesting. I'm like, they're probably like, leave our friends alone.
Leave our friends alone.
Yeah. So I want to read some of these tweets.
All right.
Okay.
Heidi's going to read a tweet. Makes her a tweeter, twoter.
No.
Teller.
You're not. Scott's not a Twitter person.
I'm not a Twitter. I'm not even sure how to do a Twitter. Make a Twitter or have a Twitter tweet.
He has no
I don't
clue.
even know how you do it.
I'm on Twitter, though. So, okay. So one person said, there is
But
no...
I can fix a toilet. That's a crappy job, but somebody's got to do it.
Oh, God. Yes. That's lovely. Okay. One person said, there is no blessing or exorcism that can't successfully be performed in less than 5 minutes. Jokes. Fact. So...
What?
Yeah. They're saying you can't bless a house and you can't do an exorcism successfully in less than 5 minutes because that's how long it took. It took like minutes to do this. And so, I mean, even this person has a grasp of a concept.
Right.
This crap is lowering my IQ by the second. Seriously? Demons don't play shave and a haircut, just 2 hours ad for a show.
Cut, bring the demon in on the second. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, go.
I think a lot of people have a grasp on this. So we all accomplished in 2 hours, all we accomplished in 2 hours was chest tightness, commercials, and a host yapping. Ugh. That was their tweet. Here's another tweet. A lot of commercials happening with Exorcism Live because evil doesn't sleep, but it does nap for multiple 2-minute intervals. That's for more commercials. And I'm thinking, what kind of commercials did they have?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like probably a lot have antidepressants.
Stay Awake would have been good.
Stay Awake, antidepressants, holy
your
water.
caffeine commercials, water, yeah. Spring water or aqua. What is that?
Aquafina?
Aquafina water. Yeah, just all them little things like that would be related.
And that would even make it funny.
Yeah.
If they did that. People would catch on after a while.
The holiest of all waters.
Aquafina. I love it. That's awesome.
Personally blessed by a distributor.
By a distributor.
Yeah.
Another person said opening communication in any form can be dangerous. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but a member of the team that was there, because they had like a ghost hunting team there, they tweeted, celebrating a successful night of TV history with some of our network family. And I'm thinking, you're celebrating? And this is, I guess, where my problem of ridiculousness comes in. They have no clue of the severity of the situation.
Well, I don't know. Well, the tools used became a problem, but the act of exorcising a house was ridiculous to begin with. There was probably little danger in it, except for the tools they used, which could bring in
more stuff.
Something that wasn't there to begin with.
Right. And I'm all thinking, okay, so if anybody did history on this whole real story of Robbie Mannheim, or, you know, what they call him, Roland Doe, is that he, first of all, most of the exorcisms didn't even happen in that house. They happened somewhere else. And this was supposedly 66 years after one of the exorcisms, you know. But the thing is that when he was successfully exorcised from these demons, he went back home with his parents and lived a normal life. The house wasn't haunted. So why would they pick this house? It's not one of the most haunted houses. He was haunted. You know?
Well, they had nothing else. They're just trying to get attention, make a show, get something to grasp an idea, a thought, get somebody to watch. It's all about money. It always is. Money and some sort of fame or some sort of recognition.
Yeah.
So they come up with something, well, it's something that's really going to draw some attention. Well, that story draws a lot of attention. It still does today.
Yeah.
It is based on a true story. And, in fact, we had said the true story is actually worse than the TV movie they made. So it's like, well, the guy, they can't talk to him anymore or do that. He doesn't want nothing to do with it. They just don't remember a lot of it. So what do you got left? Emily Rose is long gone. You got nobody to talk to.
That's
and
true.
It's hard to find a conveniently possessed, you know. I mean, how do you write an ad looking for anybody demon possessed to do a TV movie?
Well, that one story with LaToya Ammons was probably the closest one to something real. But I think the media hashed that so bad that maybe there's no validity, and she moved on. I heard that she was... You're the gatekeeper. I heard that she was working with a network to make a movie, but I don't know what's happening with that.
Who?
That LaToya Ammons, the one lady with the haunted house in is Indiana. There's a lot of activity in Indiana. Weird activity. I hate that. That's so creepy. But you know, when people partake, and here's the thing is, I don't want to talk bad about Destination America because it's great to bring the paranormal stuff to light, but if they're not going to do it safely or honestly, but it's TV, so I guess most TV isn't going to, but we're actually going to be on Destination America on one of their shows, which we can't say yet because I think it's coming out in January. Once we get a final date, we can say it. But the way they did our show was they did our accounts and reenacted it. So we didn't go in there and do something.
Right.
You know, they just told our story. So it's a little bit different. So I don't want to bash Destination America because everything that they have on there is paranormal.
Well, like I said, it's, you know, you have to do something. And it's like, well, what do we do? And if you don't have knowledge and experience in these areas, I mean, you know, you got to realize the people that sometimes come up with these concepts don't know nothing about this stuff at all.
Yeah, right.
It's like, I got an idea. And then, will you do it? And somebody to get on TV or whatever, yeah, I'll do it. It's like, does anybody know what they're doing here? No, but we'll convince them. It's, I don't know.
And we've talked about it before, years ago.
Yes, we have, Heidi.
When we got contacted by...
Yes, the naked people.
No, not that one.
Oh.
We got contacted by the naked people.
Yes.
We got contacted by a network. And they wanted us to do almost the exact same thing.
Right.
But we turned them down.
Yeah.
Because,
and then you had somebody you knew that did it.
And it was so ridiculous. And I knew that that's how this was going to turn out. And it's just like, if there's going to be no truth in it, then don't do it. But that's TV for you, I guess.
Can you speak in Arabic backwards?
But my beef isn't with the people who did the show.
Where's the beef?
It's with the ghost hunting team or whatever that went in. Because they, to me, are demeaning spirituality and the true nature of the supernatural. Because they're buying into this.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I think so. You know, 10 years ago on British television, they aired a live exorcism of a man who was attached to a brain monitor.
Happens.
Yeah, you know. So, but I mean, so it's not like this stuff is brand new. It's just they're finding different ways to do it.
Different ways.
Wait till they run across a real demon.
Well, and that's the thing.
It's just hard to get one to, you know, act at the time of the broadcasting.
I don't think they really care. That was going to be one of my questions to you is that, I mean, what do you think these... Well, first of all, the house wasn't even haunted. Right. Robbie was haunted. So they go into this house because of its history of the boy that lived there.
Right. Well, they're hoping for
something.
Just because so much happened there and whatever, you know, who knows? Maybe there is some residual type demon just hanging out going, wow, I got like nothing to do. You know, maybe somebody will conjure me up.
Well, when they bust out the Ouija board, I'm thinking... Yeah. That was stupid. I mean, You're going to get something. I don't think it's going to be... Well, one of the paranormal team members said that they wrestled with a demon before, but this one is the devil. And I'm thinking, oh, really?
Really?
And how do you know that?
It's surprising. It just, I don't know, blows my mind, the lack of experience and knowledge of who and what Satan is, and to think that he would even bother with what littleness we are to him. That is not who he personally deals with. He's like, I am not.
The devil did not possess this kid.
No. It was not the devil. The devil, I mean, read your Bibles, you'll find out, and I've said before, repeat, he has only possessed one man, according to the Bible, and he will possess one more.
Yep.
The Antichrist. That's it.
He's not bothering with those peons.
He's got other things to do, and he works on bigger scales and levels. Well, he's got plenty of little minions doing their jobs and having their fun. But him personally, he's like, I was a devil himself. Really? Because the devil would
wipe the floor with your...
in about a half a second.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah. I mean, come on. I just think that's ridiculous. Thinking, but now the team that was there said that they felt an evil presence.
Well, just think about it for a minute. The devil himself took Christ and took him to the highest plateaus and different, had him personally, said, hey, look, you can have all this. God himself, standing right next to Satan, he had no problem. Hey, listen, how about you have this? You want this? Do that. Turn that brock into bread. I mean, that's the kind of level that the devil deals with.
He's talking to God.
Yeah, and he's discussing things in a rational way. And that's the way he works, just like he did with Eve. Just real smooth. He goes, hey, listen, did you think about this? I mean... Yeah,
it's all his little minions that are like these
the ones
evil...
That are...
No, not the guys in Despicable Me. I mean,
no, they're
not
nice.
them. Not those minions.
They're yellow.
But yeah, it's them.
I don't know. Who was the devil, really? You seen him?
In fact... And next week, we're going to be talking about levels of demons in the hierarchy and stuff. So, but anyway, the team said they felt an evil presence, and they heard a little girl's voice in the attic. I'm thinking, oh yeah, so Satan talks like this now? I mean, come on. And it's just, I don't know. And I don't know if they did hear a little girl voice in the attic, and I don't know if they got anything.
Who believes it?
Right. And then Chip Coffey, who is like this well-known psychic guy, he comes in with his little handy-dandy Ouija board, don't worry, I'm here, and I got an idea. I mean, that's what started the whole problem in the first place, was the Ouija board, when this kid used the Ouija board with his aunt.
It's like somebody coming into a fire with a can of gas. I'll put it out.
I mean, perfectly
Bad
put.
idea, dude.
It's so stupid. I'm like, seriously, my brain was being racked about all the details.
Yeah, anybody that knows the history of the real Exorcist would know that the whole thing was brought in by, it was him and his aunt, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Had done the Ouija board many times on a regular basis. And she died, and, well, the gate was opened, and one thing led to another. Yep. And it got out of hand, and, the guy's okay now and everything. But, yeah, it was a huge story.
Yeah.
Gigantic. It's like, hey, let's do it again.
So
I would have been killer. Imagine this thing blowing out of control and having it filmed and have something really come
crazy.
And start throwing.
I don't even think people would believe it, and that's the problem.
No, they wouldn't have believed it. Well, yeah. With Hollywood, you wouldn't know what to believe. You'd be like, cool. It's like, no, it was real.
Yeah, everybody just got done seeing like the 10th Paranormal Activity movie, so they could care less about what's really happening because they don't know what's real and what's not, and they sort of merge the two. And then some guy named after Chip and Coffee, which is like two things I eat all the time, comes in with his Ouija board. I'm like, oh, he sounds threatening. I'll get the demon for you. Like that guy from Jaws. I'll get that demon for you.
I'll get that demon for you. It ain't going to be easy. He's a bad spirit, a big spirit, big enough to eat a man whole.
A man named Chip Coffee.
Chip Coffee.
So
you hungry, Chip? You want some coffee?
So stupid. So the team also said they were looking for some kind of portal or vortex or trapdoor to hell. Thinking, yeah, look in the mirror, dude. It's you.
Yeah.
You're calling it in. Yeah. You are the portal.
Too much television. Like, yeah, there it is, right underneath the bed. Knew it all the time. A portal. Pull back that rug. Wham! There it was. There's been movies. Was it the one house that was that movie?
House.
The house that was bled and everything.
Oh, Amityville Horror?
I think when they did the second or the third time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they made like down in the
the
basement
portal to hell.
And then
right.
knocking out the wall, and they found this whole portal to hell. It's like, You may not.
That's where Hollywood comes
That's
in.
exactly where I would go. Start knocking on that wall.
And Poltergeist, too. Like the entryway was the closet. And then
these things don't.
No, it's
doesn't
not true.
work that way. There's not a literal door.
And again, this is a great tactic by the devil, is he merges lies, with truth with lies.
I think he himself often laughs
I believe it.
at some of this. He could go, really?
Oh, if you guys are dumb enough to believe it, I'm just going to go with it.
Okay, all right.
Because anything to get us away from truth is gonna render us weak and a target. And so, people don't realize that the supernatural realm is merged with ours actively every day. And everybody's like, well, how do you know? How do you know? Your name's not Chip Coffee. No. But here's the thing
But it is Heidi Linden.
I have experienced so much, and I've been able to see things, and we've had proof in the spiritual and the supernatural. We've seen it before us. We've prayed on people, and their cuts have been healed before our eyes. And
I've seen a man split in half and put back together again.
No, you didn't. That did not happen.
Did not happen.
But we've seen miracles happen, so we know what we're talking about is right. But these people just, I don't know, they pick up this book
Mountain move from here.
Was that like an Indian?
Huh?
You sound like an Indian.
No, what?
Oh, mountain move from here.
Yeah.
You think people
I can tell a mountain to move, and it moves. I do it all the time.
I always thought that was a representation of maybe like
that's why the Rocky Mountains became so bumpy.
Why people started
They've
moving
been
it all the same
disturbed
time.
all the time. They're always disturbed. They got rocky.
Hey.
They were smooth on top, like hills, and then after moving around, they got jumbled around, mixed up.
Oh, okay. So that's what happened. All right, I get it.
Yep.
So, so this team thinks there's some kind of portal, or they're looking for it. They never found it. What a surprise. And then Chip Coffee said that with the Ouija board, he had fast communication with the spirits. And guess what? It flicked a candle flame. Satan flicked a candle flame.
Candle flame.
Play the movie.
Candle back.
Put the candle back. That's great. So I'm thinking, you're probably dealing with Satan. He makes that candle flicker move. It's like, this is Satan.
The power of Satan.
I don't
Make
know.
a candle flame rise.
So it was either someone was breathing heavy, or it was a spirit trying to make you think more. I don't know. And not that I doubt that these things happen. They do. But when you're hyping it up to be something, be careful for what you wish for. So he was asked if it was the same spirit that took over Roland Doe. And he said something dark tried to bully its way in. That's so vague. That is what psychics that pay and stuff.
Something
you pay psychics,
dark
tried to bully its way in.
Well, if the lights were off in the room, then everybody was dark.
There you go.
Sorry, bro. I went to the bathroom.
Well, that's not an answer. He didn't answer it.
No, he didn't.
It's like something, and that's how these psychics work. Very vague, and you could lure people in very easily.
Lure.
And then they use something called a devil's toy box.
Oh yeah. Well, he likes to play too.
No, a ghost trap. They assembled this in the basement.
Ah.
Didn't it remind you of Ghostbusters? Like the little things. Open it up, don't cross the streams. And they stuck this.
That is true, though.
Yeah, no, it's not.
If you don't cross the streams, everybody knows that.
Well, they did at the end. Remember to get it, and it worked.
And look, it was dangerous.
Worked, but they got them.
It messed up all three of them guys' hair.
That's true. Well, I don't know about this whole devil's toy box thing, but they think that they can trap a ghost or demon. And I'm thinking, so stupid. Do you remember when Ghost Hunters came out? Back early 90s or not 90s,
no.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
Sorry, not 90s. In the 2000s. And then that one ghost group that was online, they actually took their vacuum and decked it out and made people think that they were sucking up ghosts with their vacuum.
That's cool.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
I would have done that.
But people would have fell for it in the beginning, I'm sure. I'm just like, SMH. That was stupid.
Put a title by your name, and you'd be surprised what you can get away with.
It's true. Yeah.
No.
So I'm thinking, okay, so if spirits can go through walls, what makes you think your little trap's going to contain them? Because you said a couple words, like, who are you? And then I'm wondering if it would be a demon. I mean, these demons are possessing people and making them go crazy and stuff. But you think you're going to trap it in a box? Like, really? What's up with
it's a complete lack of understanding of
a lack of common sense.
The absolute power of an actual entity of a demon and what it can do.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, yeah, well, I can do this. Well, it's great. Everybody wants to be a Clint Eastwood, but it doesn't work that way.
No.
It just doesn't work that way.
I mean, when we didn't really understand demons, but we still at least revered their power. And
that's why we don't ever, we have to handle it all through the name, and we really can't draw these things out and call them out and take command and control of them. No, we have to do it all through the name of Christ, because ourselves have no power, over them unless it's through the name. So we can't say, come here, demon, get out.
And people think that that's what they can do.
Close the door behind you.
Oh, and then one member even climbed in this box, trying to lure the demons, because come here, demon. Come here, baby. Come here, good demon. You want a treat? Want my Ouija board? Want my planchette? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous.
I know.
So, and then it ends with a bishop in the garb, with a big old crucifix, and he prays in the bedroom. The end. And I'm sure everybody's like, what just happened? This is the lamest thing. But then on a spiritual sense, not just a TV sense, but on a spiritual sense, it is so embarrassing to reality and the spiritual aspects. And it's also demeaning to true supernatural powers. And these people are going to be messed up, man. Something's going to happen. An
archdietist said it right when he said any attempt to cast out demons exposes all the participants to the danger of future satanic attacks. Future satanic attacks.
Future, not that
they always think it's going to... See, nothing happened. Okay. Well, it's like asbestosis. We talked about that the other day.
Asbestos.
It's asbestosis is what it's called, the disease.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know it was a disease.
You can be around asbestos 30 years ago and have no symptoms at all for 30 years. Suddenly go in, realize you have a lung disease, and it's asbestosis, and by the time you find out you have it, it's too late.
And you can die,
so
right?
it's kind of like it's just kind of like the demons too. They're like, we'll do what we want to do when we want to do it, and when we find the need, or when we have, whatever their plan is. Like somehow we can't believe that we can. Oh, you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this. Because they just look at you. They say long before you even thought of, we were running around. It's like they know people. They know how it all works, and they know how to manipulate whatever they need to.
Definitely.
So,
and in our case, that's how we found out. I pretty much felt like I got my butt kicked by a demon or something.
I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
Yeah,
Weird.
Did. It was, and then and then years later, I was also given a vision of demonic beings. That one time I was driving down the road. And I was just pulling into like the parking lot of one of those mini malls, and I see this kid.
Is that like a mall that's smaller?
It is. Yeah, not mini, but that's what they call it.
Like for little people? Or
no.
Like the Minions only?
No, yeah, it's a minion mall.
Okay.
But this kid drives by on his bike or like passes me, and I saw his face turn demonic and like practically melt in front of me. I almost got a car accident because it threw me off. But demons will show themselves to you when they want for their own reasons, whatever it is. But one night, God gave me a vision of demons, and when you will experience a demon, you will not be doing TV shows or celebrating it, you will be so stinking scared that you do what we do, and we keep away from scary movies and stuff because we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the Bible actually talks about that late in the later days, that demons will begin to show themselves here and there, and people will, in some cases, actually die of fear,
and they'll go
from
mad.
The mere sight of them. Being that, it's hard for us to comprehend. Yeah, it's one thing to see something scary, but it's to feel it as well as seeing it. So it's like feeling evil. I mean, how do you feel evil without it doing anything to you? But you can.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we've all maybe experienced it. I mean, sometimes you can just maybe see this dog from a distance. A dog hasn't done nothing to you or something like that. Or maybe an individual in a store or something. They've done nothing to you. You can see them from a distance and you can just feel. Maybe they're not very pleasant looking either, but you can also feel it's just like something ain't right.
Yep.
And you get that like the willies, you're just like something is wrong here. Well, magnify that by many, many, many times.
Yeah.
And imagine that level of fear coming over you to the point where you just want to die. It's like I'm just freaked out.
Well, in my book, I talk about my experiences, and I tried to get as perfectly sensed to what it's like and what I, experienced. And the reason my book is called Daughter of Siva, because there's a story in the Bible about the 7 sons of Siva, and Siva is a place. But, these guys went around and they thought they were one thing like I did, and they found out they were another. And it's in Acts. And it says, some Jews went around driving out evil spirits, and they tried to invoke the name of the Lord Jesus over those who were demon-possessed. They would say, in the name of Jesus, who Paul preaches, I command you to come out. Well, these 7 sons of Siva, a Jewish priest, were doing this. One day, the evil spirit answered him and said, Jesus I know, and Paul I know about, but who are you? And then the man who had the evil spirit jumped on them and overpowered them all. He gave them such a beating that they ran out of the house naked and bleeding. Right before this, the Bible's talking about the Holy Ghost, which is being filled with God's Spirit, talking about baptism and repenting. And these are the key factors
to having all that power to do this.
Right. Because we have to be clean vessels. Right. We can't be working with
so they had the name, but the name was not enough. And so here they ran across a higher powered demon that said, oh, yeah? Yeah, I know Jesus. Yeah, I know Paul too. And who do you think you are?
Exactly.
Because you've got no power or dominion. You're not completely covered. Oh, you've got the name? Ain't enough. You've got to have the stamp of approval. You've got to have the baptism, and you've got to be filled with something that's going to keep me from doing whatever I want with you.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. They got their butts kicked.
Yep. And I probably was on my way. That was in Acts 19, 13 through 16, in case anybody wants to look up that story. And that's why I call my book Daughter of Siva, because when it happened to me, that's what I felt was happening. Was I realized who I was. I'm nothing on that spiritual food chain. No. We humans.
We really aren't.
Yeah. And these demons are way above us. So when people think that they have the power and authority over these, they don't. And it's sort of like the dangers with ghost hunting or paranormal investigating. Now, ghost hunting, I guess I see it more as like looking for ghosts to capture pictures and stuff just because people think it's cool. And paranormal investigating is more like seeking evidence of spirits with equipment. But that's how I view it. And everybody thinks of it differently. But the number one mistake is the lack of knowledge in the spiritual aspects.
Stupid you are, yes.
So if you're dealing with the supernatural and we only have physical knowledge, what makes us think that we know anything about the spirits we say we're encountering?
Think not, yes.
Well, what do you think? I mean, if you're going to deal with demons, you need to know about them. You can't just you can't bring a little box and a Ouija board.
Yeah,
you have
it's all just it's just a lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
You'll always get something. Well, I did this and I did. You think you did.
Right.
Maybe you felt you did, but a truly smart demon would allow you to believe lots of different things just to bring you a little closer, to the edge. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to push you over. I just want you to look over the edge for a minute. Look at that pretty down there. Until you get close enough and they push you over.
Or an even smarter demon will entice you with what's over that edge so that you bring all your friends. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to push you all over. I mean, and people don't see it that way, but there's paranormal investigators and stuff who go because they want evidence that there's ghosts, okay? And that's fine if they want to do that. But you're going to encounter things that you don't know about, and you're not equipped for that.
Right. Got to have the double sticky tape.
The duct tape?
Duct tape. Yeah.
No, that's not going to work either. So when you're dealing with the supernatural, you need to know about the supernatural. And then they use equipment. And it's like,
that fixes everything.
It's like,
the demon says, what? Your EVP? What? Not that you don't get EVPs, not that these things aren't real, but that, you can't read some of these things. But
well, just because your EMF meter is going off doesn't mean that there's a ghost. And it's like, I took a picture, there's a dark shadow. It's still not proof. I mean, these things are supposed to read electrical currents, and there's electricity all over this world. We're electricity.
Yeah, we're electricity, yep.
So you got to be real careful, and that's why we're supernatural investigators.
You got a little extra electricity.
I do. I can't even wear watches.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
they
I just
die.
meant a motor mouth.
What? I don't have a motor mouth. This is a podcast. We're supposed to talk. Oh, like the Energizer Bunny.
Oh, man. Yeah, like the Energizer
Yeah.
Buzzy.
Buzzy? Who's Buzzy?
Buzzy?
That's what you said.
It's brother.
Energizer
It's
Buzzy.
It's Buzzy Bunny.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, Buzzy Bunny.
Well, when they've got this equipment, it reads the physical matter and the waves, but they're not ghost detectors. So when you're using even stuff like a ghost box or seances, Ouija boards, automatic writing, the same thing can be said for psychics. You can't trust just because a psychic says, yes, it's this. It doesn't mean it's that.
Yeah.
And just because they were right before, it doesn't mean they're right now. You got to be so careful with this stuff because, like everybody's been saying, it's going to cause some spiritual repercussions down the line. We have to come to terms with what you decide you want to do, what you're seeking out.
What do you want to seek? Seek a peek.
Are you going to seek out spirits? Are you going to seek out demons? What are you, so do your research, not just on the house, but the people.
Yeah, the people, dude.
And maybe do research on the Bible and find out what it says.
The Bible would be a good thing. I know people are that don't. I think some people have made notes to us saying, I never realized that was in the Bible. I didn't know the Bible talked about this. I didn't know about this. And it's a shame because there is so much information. In fact, Leviticus, that's Old Testament. That is old school God right there. Leviticus 19:31 says, "Give no regard to mediums, small or largest, and familiar spirits. Do not seek after them to be defiled by them." So seeking after them is going to be defiled by who? You won't defile yourself. You're going to be defiled by them. Seek after them? Oh, they're going to
mess with you.
They're going to mess with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, hi, yeah, I'll play with you. That is how we got cast out of heaven to begin with. We wanted to be like God. We wanted to take his position. So, well, better, the thing is, if you want to do something to somebody, you want to do something to them. Well, it's hard to get at God. He's pretty powerful. So let's take his little favorite creation and mess with those.
Well, a lot of people don't like the Bible because God says you can't do this, you can't talk to spirits, but he's doing that for people's protection.
Right.
He's trying to tell you that you're going to call in
Hey,
stuff.
your mom and dad told you not to touch the stove anyway. What do you think that was for?
Doesn't mean you can't use it when you're older.
sick of my parents telling me I can't touch the stove. I'll touch the stove when it's on if I want to.
It's like when you
Don't
get
have to
older
touch it.
and you learn about the stove and you become responsible, you can use it.
Yeah.
It's the same
Right.
principle.
Stove's a great tool when you're hungry.
And then there's the whole trapping, containing, and cleansing spirits. That's a big fail.
Yeah, that's only for Ghostbusters. The real Ghostbusters. Now there's only 2 of them left. So,
well, if you've got sin or pride or showmanship in you, you're not going to get deliverance from these, spirits. You're only going to get more. So, and then if you've got spirits and demons and you follow this whole spiritual hierarchy, we're at the bottom. So, then people ask us, well, then how do you guys do it? And we ask God to do it. We understand everything that's going on, so we ask God
it's a formula.
Step in.
It's a recipe for success.
Yeah.
It says, now demons fear, not because of someone's name or education or denomination, title, or cool personality or TV popularity, but when someone calls on Jesus to take care of the situation. Demons recognize with hatred and resent, but
Big time.
people who submit to the absolute authority of Jesus Christ, they are delegated to have authority to them,
Right.
over them.
So it's like God,
right.
demons, or God,
Right.
angels,
It
demons,
goes
and
back
us.
to the old principle of the king delegating his authority to different people. If they had that seal and the ring and different things, they could go forth and they could do things, but only with a written thing, with a seal from the king, something that allowed them to do that, because the king's the only one that really had the authority.
Right.
He could only give the authority to others, and the only way they had the authority is, one, to have some sort of relationship with that king, and to have authority through that king with a seal or a scroll or something that said, by the order of the king, I have the authority to say, get out or whatever going on. Nothing's changed over all these centuries.
Right.
We still have a king to answer to. We just have the ultimate king. He said, now you want the authority. It's not just because you believe in me. What have you done to obtain that? You had a relationship with me. And what I've instilled with you is not a piece of paper. It's not a stamp. But no, I've given unto you a mark from within. The Holy Ghost, the power within you through my name. So really, when you are filled with the Holy Ghost and you go cast out a demon, what you're doing is you're exercising that part of God's Spirit that's within you, and you're using it to do the job. So you're using God to do the job, and you're just the vessel or the voice to do it. God always uses his people to do everything. Everything that's spoken is done by an audible sound. Mm-hmm. He always did everything audibly. He didn't have to do things audibly, but even when you look into the first chapter of Genesis, everything was spoken into existence. We want power and authority, we have to speak it. And to do that, we have to use the proper name. And in order to use the proper name, we have to have the authority to do so.
Exactly.
And we have to be, that's the only way we can do it.
Well, these attempts to mainstream demonic beings and downplay the severity of the cult, these people are in for a huge, rude awakening. You know, like you said, it's going to happen later on. It may not happen during the show because demons don't really care if you see it. They don't want you to know their biz. You know, they do everything secretly.
More and more, they're becoming a little more. I mean, we can see the way the world goes and what they do. So,
yeah, well, because people are so numb to it and they're accepting of it. So, in that case, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, they make it seem like nothing more than like a healthy alternative choices. You know, where's the common sense in all this?
Well, it's not healthy to cast out demons.
No, it can.
It takes a toll on you.
Makes you hungry. You want to have I don't know, a school snack.
I don't know. So that whole demon thing is just, I know we went on, but I had to rant and rave because...
the sky within.
Demon in the sky. Nice. Okay, so another little stupid, ridiculous story. News Channel 9 was doing a story on a haunted hotel, the Braylock Inn. During the interview at 6 a.m., there was glass shattering downstairs. And so instantly the article's like, I think the ghosts were talking to us or whatever. It's like, I don't really think that they care.
It's a hotel, 6 a.m., getting ready for making stuff for breakfast and all that. It's not very possible.
Oh, they said, no one should have been up at that time. It's like, geez. And, when people are constantly showing this stuff on TV, everybody's like, whatever. So when it really happens, it's, what is that, the Red Riding Hood thing? Not Red Riding Hood.
Crying wolf.
Yeah, that's it. I knew it had to do with a wolf.
Are you picking on Red Riding Hood?
I didn't. Okay. So, yeah, it's like crying wolf. Sooner or later. I knew that was coming.
Who's that I see walking in them woods? Ooh, it's Little Red Riding Hood.
Okay, all right.
Oh, what?
Okay, so here, I have another question.
I was having fun.
I know. During a podcast, you can have fun after.
There ain't no fun. There ain't nobody listening. You don't listen to me anymore.
I do so.
And the dog doesn't care. And the fish don't do nothing but, always giving me a bunch of lip service.
Oh, that's so lame. Lame. All right. So people put so much, focus on spirits and not demons, but just ghosts and spirits. When they use a Ouija board, they try to call in spirits and ask them questions, and they think that these spirits know everything. And I'm thinking, why don't these spirits just communicate with us? If they are a spirit of a dead person, what's the big deal? Talk to us. If they're lonely or scared, if they're trapped, why don't they just say, hey, I'm here, this is me. Everybody's got to be so mysterious about it. I'm not really sure, but I think it's, and it's like, why can't the ghost just talk to you? You know what I'm saying? So people make ghosts out to be such a mystery. So
yeah. Maybe the ghost would be like, hi.
Hi.
I'm Bob. How are you?
Hey, good.
I'm Bob the ghost.
Okay, so another ridiculous thing that we got a little bit of hate mail.
A little bit.
I hate you, everything about you. I hate you, 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 I hate you,
'Cause the players gonna play, and the haters gonna hate, baby. I'm just gonna shake it off.
All right. So this was an email that we got in mid-October. My name is, and I'm not.
Blah.
I'm not going to say her name. And then she says, "Well, that's my surname. People must earn my birth name."
Oh boy.
I know. I go by my Wicca name anyways. I've been practicing Wicca for 12 years, since I was 12. I am well versed in Wicca, and I also have a lot of experience with spirits. Yeah, and this must be according to one of our past podcasts. Some are demons, but for you to be warning people to stay clear of spirits because they may be demons, who are you? Plus, demons are also living entities and should be revered as such. If they are here for a reason, and we can learn to live among them and with them. We have power over them.
Well, I take my demons for a walk.
You see where I'm going with this whole ridiculous thing, right?
Yeah.
We have power over them.
Really?
I do. Yes. Attacks come with the territory. Yes. Hauntings are all part of the life. But we can have justice and victory over them, power and control over them, if done correctly. I have mastered it with some, and with others I am working on. You really need to shut your yaps before someone lays a spell or curse on you, and you pay for your actions against all living spirits. All living spirits? Isn't that an oxymoron? Spirits aren't living.
I mean, well, in their own realm is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Is, it's like, them spirits had their time. They're gone. They're dead. If they were rescued, that's the difference between biblical belief and non-biblical belief. If you have biblical belief, you'd realize that a soul that is waiting judgment and has done right will be resting in peace.
Correct.
And they shouldn't be a spirit or running around or doing anything wrong or bothering you at all. So if there's spirits to contend with, then it's like, okay, what are they doing here? And why are we contending with them? I mean, I'm trying to figure out, if we're not messing with them, then why do we have to have power over them? If we're not doing things to draw them in, we really don't need to do anything to control them or do anything else with them. Just leave them alone.
Exactly.
And it's basically, it's for those people that get themselves in a situation and they've done something that's brought this in. We've been there to help them to say, all right, here's what we know can help you.
Right.
And here's what not to do in the future. Or
Trial
for
and
those who
error.
are listening, don't do this. Why do it? It's like saying, well, it's like saying, yes, you can do drugs, but there's some drugs you can do. I've conquered some of those drugs, and some of those drugs I can live with and adapt to and become part of.
Yeah,
it's
good
like,
comparison.
or could we just say, let's not do them at all?
Yeah.
And give
Why
the
take the
reasons
chance?
what's going to happen if you do, and what to do if you have done them, how to get off of them. And so,
Well, she says we can live
why?
with them. We can't live with demons. Are you crazy?
They were cast out of heaven by the most part. Well, she's part of Wicca. She don't believe in God and them sorts of things. So for her, it's true. But the bottom line is, I would rather side on some evidence that, that God, well, there's never been a denial that Christ existed. No religion has denied that Christ existed. They just deny who he was. Mm-hmm. So, with that in mind, it's like, okay, we know there was a Christ. We know there was. Now, what you want to believe of him, of all the 300 prophecies, a lot more than that, but there's three, have all come true. No prophecy concerning him has been disproved. Right. There's been some not proved. Either we didn't prove them yet or they haven't happened yet, but everything's come true. Nothing is a falsity.
Right, it hasn't been disproved, but they're trying to find ways to disprove it.
They haven't been able to disprove. They can say, I don't believe. Well, not believing is not disproving. It's just not believing.
And people forget, if they don't know too, that we come from a background where we didn't have all this truth. And when it started proving itself time after time after time after time.
It changes things.
And all the occult stuff we used to do has just, this is a dead end, this is a dead end. We never found answers. Just more questions. Right. Well, I guess everybody has an answer, but we needed truth.
And casting spells on people and stuff. So people, and I know that people can do that sort of thing, but why would you do that to somebody?
Because they want to shut you up.
Yeah, why can't they just
turn me off.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like what we have to say, that's not everybody. I'm not forcing anybody to listen.
We had people in our groups that practiced Wicca and stuff like that, and at the time we didn't know all this. And none of their techniques worked whatsoever.
Nope.
In fact, they usually made things a little bit worse. But we didn't know, and so we went through the tile and tress. We did the whole salt and knives and fire and water and all these different things, and none of it worked.
Yep.
In fact, the clients looked at us like we were nuts.
And then we also did things, you know, like paranormal investigators. We took pictures, we did EMF, we did EVPs, we did all that too. But there was no goal to that. I mean,
Right.
you just never constantly get proof, and you never really get it.
Right.
So, I don't know.
It's called science in some fact. I mean,
Sure.
that's why we have scientists today. Not everything that they test or try is successful. But they're able to eliminate what's not successful,
Yep.
so they're pointing them in the right direction of what may be successful.
Right.
And that's where we went with our background. So there's no need for anybody to mess around with spirits and having to. No, we can say, no, we're not going to live with them because we're not going to draw them in.
Yeah, she says it's part of the territory to be haunted and have attacks.
No,
well, you know,
it
it's
doesn't
part
have
of
to
her
be.
territory. If that's the way she wants to live, it is going to be part of her territory. But then when we've
Yeah.
found truth and we're able to do things for people through God, we don't have these things anymore. I mean, we do get attacked, but there's times where we're not prayed up and we try to do things.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta be careful what we do too.
It's interesting how sometimes how little effort we have to do to be protected.
Right.
And that's just as everyday life for us. You know, the things that we do, the things that we don't do, probably more so than the things we do, is the things that we don't do.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, you know, people always think about, well, I can't do this, or I can't do this, or you can do this. What about, you know, the freedoms of what you can do?
Yeah.
Forget about all the freedoms that you can do. You don't have to be part of the world. You can say, I can choose not to do that. I'm going to do this. You know, and so someone's going to choose to live with spirits and have dark things flying around their room and saying, oh, it's part of life. Well, it's part of your life. Don't have to be part of ours.
Yeah. And we still deal with the supernatural.
A lot of people don't
We just don't
want
deal
to
with that
deal with that.
aspect.
We don't have to run around wearing dark clothing and walking slowly.
Well, I
and-
like wearing black. So.
So Johnny Cash. Look at him. He's dead now.
Well, I'm still alive, and I like black because
Oh.
it makes me look thinner. But also, too, is you know, if you're gonna deal with spiritual warfare like we do, I mean, we don't have to make it a part of our lives. It is a part of our lives, but we don't have to constantly be battling it.
No.
You know, it's
This isn't the focus of our conversation every day.
no,
I mean, this isn't what we do every day.
nope.
No.
And we just want to help people, but you
Yeah.
have to have truth. You know,
Gotta have it.
So.
So-
All right. Well, it is now time to start wrapping up.
Wrap it up.
So guess what that means?
That means it is time for Rock and Reject segment.
You suck.
Well, Aaron Sagers rocks. He's a TV host, a pop culture journalist, and he works with the Travel Channel. Now, on the night of the Exorcism, he tweeted a pic of the dinner scene from Beetlejuice. With it, he tweeted this: I want to point out, it was a bad idea to bring Ortho into the seance and serve shrimp. That rocks, because Beetlejuice, anything Beetlejuice rocks, and he's comparing the buffoon Ortho holding a seance to the live exorcism. So he's using a comparison of the two.
Of course. And
yeah.
since you love Beetlejuice.
Well, babes, what else is there, you know? Learn to throw your voice. Learn to have a party.
Well, I think that's pretty cool that he did that too, because they are a bunch of dummies.
Hey, come on.
You can't go in trying to cast out demons with the Ouija board. It's like
I told you, it's like bringing gas to a fire. What?
Yeah, or I don't know.
It's liquid. Wrong kind.
Okay, so the reject segment I'll do. Scott Nelson from Lexington, Missouri, says he has proof that Bigfoot exists, and it's audio. It's interesting because this he's a retired guy from the Navy, so he's not just some, you know.
Yeah, well, just because you're in the Navy don't mean...
No, but I
can't
mean,
be.
he's got some notoriety, and 17 years as a cryptolinguist. So he's been studying this stuff. So he's been intercepting other countries' stuff and decoding them. So he's pretty smart with sounds and stuff. So he was helping his son do research on Sasquatch, okay? So that's interesting. But he hears something on the recording when they were out doing this research. And the son says it sounds like apes are fighting. But the dad says that it's like a language on the tapes. Okay?
I am Sasquatch.
But it's like messing with Sasquatch. But I think Sasquatch was messing with them.
He said he was Sasquatch.
The reason this is a reject to me is because, people, if you're going to bang on the tree howling and you hear animals reciprocate, it's not proof that Bigfoot exists. A footprint in the snow or mud is not proof. And we differ here. I do believe that there might be some kind of Bigfoot thing, and it could be a government testing thing.
There could be something. Species. There's, at least I know when it comes to the ocean and stuff like that, there is just
everyday things are being
so much stuff that's not discovered yet.
Sure.
I just think with so much time and effort in trying to find a Bigfoot. Now, let's say we don't find a Bigfoot. Not even a hair. A real hair,
right?
I mean, not a dead one, not a bone.
Well, I wonder.
They don't live forever. If they do exist, they must have come and gone.
We should email Josh Gates and ask him about that one. Remember when he found a hair from what they thought was the Yeti?
You know what? And they said never got back to us.
They did mention that it wasn't human or it wasn't an
anything
animal
in their files,
but that was it.
Never said another word.
Yeah, so I want to know because I do believe there could be
one hair. And supposedly a cave where Yetis or Sasquatches lived. I mean, if you're living in a cave, I think you'd find more than hair.
Yeah. So there's
I mean, really. I mean, the average male or person loses 200 hairs a day.
You know what I think? I think when we were sort of going with what we were talking about, when you're researching and studying for years a particular topic, like let's say Bigfoot, and what you're doing isn't working, try something else. Maybe you're doing it wrong. Maybe you're looking at the wrong. Maybe they should be trying a different angle. I know there's people who believe that it could be a demonic thing or I don't even know the words, like from another dimension, and I don't know any of that. I just know that there could be a crossbreed, but just because this guy says he has an audio and insists that it's Bigfoot and that's proof, it's not proof, and that's, again, where it sort of demeans what proof is.
I got nothing against Sasquatches or Yetis or Bigfoot.
Me neither.
I mean,
I have nothing against them. They're our friends.
I don't think we should be so on about the size of their feet, though.
No. Yeah.
Bigfoot. I mean, how would you like to be
called?
No
wonder they hide from us.
Big head or big mouth or big eyes or big nose? People don't want to hear about that. So maybe there's part of the problem right there.
Right.
They're like, we're not going to expose ourselves. All they do is rip on us all the time about the size of our feet. They're saying to themselves, have they seen the rest of the size of my body? You would know why my feet are so big. Because I'm about 12 feet tall. I'm going to rip you from limb to limb when I get a hold of you. Okay? So it's just wrong. The properly sized feet that have been found maybe pertain to Sasquatches or Yetis or whatever is fine.
That's right. They're proportioned.
They're proportionally correct.
Leave the Sasquatch alone. Stop messing with Sasquatch.
We're listening. We think you're appropriately sized. You're not a Bigfoot. You are your feet are larger than ours.
Right.
But that's a fact. It's not a rip.
And if there's any Sasquatches listening to us now,
who goes around saying,
us.
look, a little foot? Nobody ever says that.
Yeah. No one says, look at the little foot.
Yeah. Oh, look, a little foot.
Aww.
It's always about a Bigfoot. All the time.
I'm glad you're politically correct and so compassionate over cryptos.
Just saying.
All right, so next week we're going to be discussing spiritual warfare levels and powers of demons.
Yeah,
that's going to be a good
that's
one.
Right.
As always, you can find us a variety of ways. Our website for our site, SWAT, which is helps people with spiritual afflictions. It's a good resource place.
Good resource.
EPH612SWAT.com.
Ephesians 6:12.
And if you're not on our website listening now, our website is
What?
Our website is tsradio.net, and you can find us on Twitter at TSR Parapod. Our Facebook page is Talk Supernatural Podcast, and as always, you can email us with any questions or comments. talksupernatural@gmail.com.
But until next Friday, this isn't goodbye. It's just I have things to do that don't include you, this Mike or Ghost. So see ya.
This world's a tortured place to be. So many things to torment me. And as I stumble down this road, it takes a toll. I need an intervention. But I can see it coming. Some things just can't be explained.
And that's all, folks.